Alright, so this video is going to be on solving absolute value inequalities. Solving absolute value inequalities, we're basically going to combine what we know about solving inequalities and solving absolute value equations. And once we do that, they're not that difficult. We'll look at how we can represent our solutions as well. So, first thing, just like with solving an absolute value equation, we're going to want to isolate the absolute value expression. So we'll do that, in this case, by multiplying both sides by 4. These will cancel. We end up with absolute value q minus 1 is greater than or equal to 8. Got a little thing there. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to want to split this into two inequalities, just like we split the absolute value equation into two equations. We'll split this into q minus 1 is greater than or equal to 8. So we can keep this, just keep the symbol the same here. We're going positive to positive. But now over here, we're going to make it q minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 8. So we're switching, just like when we multiplied by a negative, we had to switch the inequality symbol. When we write our inequality over here, we're going to have to switch. When we write it with the negative, we're going to have to switch the inequality symbol here. Okay, so we've got two inequalities now. Q minus 1 is greater than or equal to 8. Q minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 8. So we'll go through and solve that. Q is greater than or equal to 9. And Q is less than or equal to negative 7. Alright, and so we've got our two parts here. Q is greater than or equal to 9. Q is less than or equal to negative 7. So we're going to represent that, just like we did with inequalities, we're going to represent that two ways. One with a number line. The number line, we will do this. We'll say, okay, well, here's negative 7. Here's 9. We don't have to fill in all the numbers in between them. If you want, knock yourself out. Alright, Q is greater than or equal to 9. So greater than or equal to, that means we're going to include the 9 and then everything greater than that. So we're going to scribble in kind of on this side to the right here. And then everything less than or equal to negative 7, so including the negative 7 and then everything less than that over here to the left. Okay, so that's how our solution is represented on the number line. We'll also represent it using interval notation. Now, we're going to have two different parts here, right? Because we've got all the stuff less than negative or equal to negative 7 and all the stuff greater than or equal to 9. So this part is going to be negative infinity, and we always put the parentheses around infinity or negative infinity, up to negative 7, and here we're going to use a square bracket. Then over here, right, that's like, you think of that's this part. This part over here is going to be everything from 9, including 9, so we'll put the square bracket there, up to infinity. Infinity always gets a parentheses. Now to combine these two to say that we're talking about everything here and everything here, we'll use this symbol. It's called the union symbol. Looks like a U, stands for union. It's handy, easy to remember. Alright, and that just tells me that we're talking about all this stuff and all of this stuff. Okay, let's try another one. So, again, we want to isolate the absolute value expression, so we'll subtract 3. We end up with absolute value 8a plus 10 less than 22. Okay, split this into two inequalities. 8a plus 10 is less than 22. And then over here, 8a plus 10 is greater than, right? We switch the inequality and to make it negative. So, we've got two inequalities now. This one is going to be 8a is less than 12. So a is less than 12 over 8. 12 over 8 is 3 over 2. So a is less than 3/2. Okay, so we've got half of it done. And the other half, we're going to have 8a is greater than negative 32. All right, subtracting 10. Divide by 8, I get a is greater than negative 4. Okay, now represent that on the number line. Draw my number line. I'll put in my -4 here, my 3/2 here. So A is less than 3/2, not including 3/2, right? Because it's not equal to. So we'll draw an open circle here, and it's going to be everything over here. Now we keep going, we get to -4. Wow, wait a second. It says A is greater than -4. So that means it's going to be everything here. So it's going to, what does this mean? It means it's going to be everything between -4 and 3/2 because it's a greater than -4 but less than 3/2. The way we're going to write that is in interval notation. We've only got one group of numbers here, not like the last problem where we had the two different sets. We've got one set of numbers here, so we're just going to write this as parentheses, -4, parentheses because it doesn't include -4, comma, 3/2, and then another parentheses because, of course, it doesn't include 3/2 either. Here we only have to write one group. There's no union or anything because there's only one group of numbers right here. All right, so that's our answer.